Okay, so now I want to show you an example. Like keeping with the woodland animals theme, I added a parallel list in here. Now, we had talked about parallel arrays back in our small basic unit, and I had mentioned that once you have a program with one array, it's really easy to add a second array or third array and so on. And so the same is true here with the list. So I changed the name of that woodland animals list to animal codes. So these are obviously the Unicode sequences. And then I added a parallel list here with the animal names. And here you can see I already ran this. This is the output below. I have almost like a table of woodland animals. But the important thing is I made sure that, okay, this is the code for the rabbit. I made sure rabbit was in the first position there. This is the code for the bird, the little red cardinal. I made sure I put bird in the second position. This is the bear, and so on. And I, the programmer, have to be responsible for getting the right name with the right code, because Python isn't going to know if it doesn't know what a fox is or a deer or a skunk. All it knows is what I tell it, okay? So I've populated the parallel lists, and one thing I have to mention, I reverted back to like the original for loop that we were talking about. Now in the last video when we were looping through the list, I did something like this. Let me just paste that back in here. I'm going to delete it in just a moment, but you can see this is not going to work because, I mean, this only works when you have one list. But if you have multiple lists like we do now, you have to use a loop with kind of the traditional loop counter and the range method with the size there. So you'll see. Let me delete that. So this is what we're doing. We're going to say, I'm going back to my favorite loop counter, little I. For I in the range of 10, now I've got 10 animals, okay, both lists have 10 items, 10 elements. For I in the range of 10, then I'm going to print, look at this, look at that. You've done this before. Loop counter as, normally I would say array index, but I'm going to say list index. Loop counter as list index. Let's do it again. All caps, because it's important. Very important technique. And what I've done here is this is a tab escape sequence, and that'll just give you a tab. So that's what makes the animals line up nicely here, because you tab over and then print the animal after the name of the animal. And then the obviously the code is what's going to print the actual animal. So yeah, once again, it's very easy to just add more and more lists to your program. If you already have one in place and the plumbing is in place, like it is here, you can just keep adding data, almost to where you have almost like a little Excel spreadsheet in memory with multiple columns with related data.